Energy is really essential for the type of lifestyle we have. And when people say, we should just make 100% wind and solar, they have to be realistic and say, is there anyone in the world who can pay for that? And I think they completely miss the point there. They're not willing to go down and figure out what it's going to take to actually do this. And with Thorium Energy, I think if you start to study it, you realize that it can actually be done. I'm Thomas Jan Petersen. I'm from Copenhagen Atomics. We are a startup company that are developing molten salt reactors that we can manufacture on an assembly line. So that's essentially nuclear reactors on an assembly line. I read an article on the internet where it said a ball this size made out of thorium can supply all the energy I need for my entire life. That's a lot of energy. It's a huge amount of energy. I knew already then that there's lots of thorium in the world. There's enough thorium to supply the entire humanity for thousands of years. And all that energy could be delivered from this little ball of thorium. And I thought, that's amazing. Right from the beginning, when we started Copenhagen Atomics, we wanted to make thorium molten salt reactors in a 40-foot shipping container. That's the size of the reactor. And we want to build them on an assembly line so that we can make a lot of energy. So the advantage of building molten salt reactors on an assembly line is that you can get the cost to come down, you can get the quality to come up, and also when you build the same thing over and over again, the share of the price that goes towards documentation and approval is much smaller. And this is definitely the way that we're going to make nuclear energy cost efficient again. It's almost impossible to design a full reactor if you don't build stuff first and learn from it and have a chance to correct it while you're designing it. And in this respect, Copenhagen Atomics is rather different from many of the other groups or startups who are working on molten salt reactor technology, because most of those only work on what's called paper designs or paperwork. And we believe that that's one of the errors from the old nuclear industry, that there is just too much paperwork and too little hands-on experience. Copenhagen Atomics is currently working on developing all the components for our first reactor. And soon we will start to build our first, what is called a non-fission prototype. That's basically a one-to-one scale version of our first test reactor. And this way we can test all the components working together, and we can have the system running under the right pressure, the right temperature, using the right salts, and we can test all the different failure conditions and see how the failure scenario plays out in real life. We believe that it's possible to bring this technology to market, and we believe this technology will have a huge impact on what it means to be human on this planet. I don't think we will be alone in this market. I think there will be several companies competing, and also several countries involved in this competition in one way or the other. But we are certainly one of the contenders. The world really needs a solution for energy. And if you have part of the solution, I think you are responsible for stepping forward and supplying your part. In the long term, what I would really like to see is that we could make energy a non-issue for the global population of humanity. We are expanding, and we're on the lookout for talent and funding and industry collaboration to leverage on synergies. So reach out to us here if you would like to be part of this exciting journey.